What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. As some of you may know, we have the Hedera Corner within Genfinity, and we've been facilitating these interviews, essentially 10 questions, 10 answers, hopefully in 10 minutes or so. Super excited today to have Matt from Creamies building out on the Hedera ecosystem. How are you doing today, Matt?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me. So I usually go by Monkey, so people might be more familiar with Monkey, but my real name is Matt. Call me whatever you want. Thank
Well,
you for having me, Solomon.
yeah, thanks, Monkey. Appreciate you joining in. I'm going to hop right in. So the first question that we have here is to describe Creamies.
I guess Creamies really started. This might answer a few of your questions, but Creamies really started with when I started degening into NFT space in Hedera. I saw the lack of things that were, to me, valuable, like liquidity, right? We need liquidity, but we want to ape into NFTs, but they're liquid, right? You need to find a buyer to kind of buy your NFT to buy something else, right? Or to sell your NFT and then buy something else. For me, that was a big problem. And I even say it on my like socials, right? I'm a master paper hand. I like to sell and buy stuff. That's kind of the enjoyment I get. So Creamies is basically an NFT project that gives you some type of liquidity while you hold the NFT. So I know a lot of people like to say passive income. It's not so much we like to use that word because obviously the legality of it all, but we give you cream tokens, which is right now exchangeable for HBAR, right? Our native token on our L1. So as of right now on Social Swap, the major DEX on Hedera, you could get for one Creamy, you could get 4 HBAR a day, right? That's the claim, and it's been pretty steady for a while. It's not one of those pump and dump type of schemes. It's a slow drip. We did provide the liquidity for it. Yeah, it's been going very well. And yeah, I guess I started the project with my CTO because we've been through enough projects where we were like, okay, this is what we want to see. This is kind of what doesn't work for us on a personal level. And we try to build out those strong points of what works. And that's
Yeah,
what we have with Creamies.
that's awesome. I think you alluded to it a little bit, but I guess I'll move into the next question here because I think that's a really great wrap up. And you did tackle question number 2, which is why are you building in Web3? Unless you want to add anything to that, I think with the liquidity aspects with NFTs certainly makes sense. Personally, I guess, I guess I will still ask it. Why are you building in Web3? What interests you? What kind of brought you here?
Well, my experience in not Web3, but previous to Web3 was, a lot of corporate businessing and entrepreneurial background. Same with my CTO. Like he's head and shoulders above like my experience. He's worked for Fortune 500 companies. He was the director of a Fortune 500 company for 7+ years. He's had that dev background. I've had the marketing background as well as like exporting and sorry, like outreach, right? So it kind of made sense. I have control over the artistic and kind of operational stuff, as well as Guac. I do have a lot of help from Guac and our mods. And our mods aren't just like paid mods, right? I know a lot of projects like to do the paid mods, but they were more friends that have interest in the project, that have rapport with me personally. Our CTO, again, he's just used to running, these infrastructural development type projects, and he has a lot of experience. Which, to me, I always say to him, like, you're punching below your belt, below your weight, but he's enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. The reason why we built in Web3 is because we felt like we had a lot to bring, especially to Hedera, because if you're not familiar with Hedera, it's very young. And I know you are, Solomon. I guess I'm
Yep.
telling your listeners.
Yep.
It's very young. When we launched our project, there wasn't a DeFi platform. And we saw that was an opportunity, not just for our project, but as an ecosystem overall, as a place where I wanted to invest my capital for the time being and invest my time, more importantly, with the project. So we saw how young it was. It's still getting built up. And the way I like to equate it is, okay, you have Bitcoin, 1G, you have Ethereum, 2G, 3G, and then you have Hedera, whatever have you, the next generation blockchains, which is like 4G, 5G, right? And we saw that beforehand, and we started building in February and March. So that's why we're building. We saw the value proposition that we could bring, and we saw the value proposition of just spending our time and effort and money, right, in this space.
Totally makes sense. No, I appreciate it. It's a great answer. I guess moving forward, who's the target audience and community for Creamies, and how have you facilitated that community up to date?
Great question. I would say our target audience for Creamies is it kind of doesn't make sense in this illogical space, and NFTs are often very illogical. People pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for an NFT just for the image and just one creator. And that's dangerous. That's the way I saw it. And again, that's one of those things that I felt we need to fix. So, it's very illogical, but our target audience is the logical, mathematical. Okay, if I buy this one NFT, how much can I make on ROI, right? And what are they building behind the scenes where it would keep that ROI valid after a year or 6 months, right? It's not just, okay, I see the ROI today, but where's the ROI in 3 months and 6 months in the future, right? Are these guys actually working, or are they just selling me a pipe dream?
Yep.
Right. And I've been sold a pipe dream so many times. Same with my CTO. That's actually how we met. We were on Saucer Swap Discord. I like to tell the story. Sorry, if I'm rambling, but
Oh, go ahead.
We met and we kind of bonded because we were rugged many times before, and we were rugged on similar projects, like the main one being Time Wonderland, right? This new thing, rebasing project. Oh, that's great. I could buy a Lambo after so many days. Why not invest my money? But yeah, we saw those, we experienced those firsthand, and we saw the issues with them, and we tried to solve that with solid tokenomics, and that's the main thing, right? If you look at our tokenomics, it's very solid, and I'm not sure if you looked at it, Solomon, but I think that's part of most people's reasoning for buying into our project. Because I know you bought a master creamer out of nowhere one day. It was pretty hype in our Discord when you did that. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, no, I have a major issue with Hedera NFTs where I've never actually sold a Hedera NFT, and I've been buying them for about a year. So I know that you were, talking about, kind of the trading aspects, which is certainly necessary to build up liquidity within an ecosystem and a network. I'm not participating in that. I just buy and hold them. Like, I literally have every Hedera NFT that I've ever bought, which is interesting. I want to move forward. So I think you touched on it a little bit. If you were to say one thing that really differentiates Creamies from other projects building out in Web3, what would that one thing be?
One thing would be that we're working 24/7. I mean, I know a lot of projects state this, and we're working ahead of the curve because of our experience. We understand we can't copy and paste the same projects and the same roadmap and be successful. I quit my career to do this, right? My CTO is semi-retired, so he was living in the States. He moved to his native country, and he got a team together, and we're trying to make it, right? But our main thing is, we're not, how do I say this without fudding other things, without sounding like an asshole? We're not drying up liquidity for drying up liquidity's sake. We're actually trying to bring value. And that's our main goal from the beginning. We're not minting any future generations. We're just trying to bring as much value to the ecosystem as possible. With our creamlands.com release, which released today, I don't know if you saw that, creamlands.com. Shout out Shills. We kind of showcase what we're trying to do with bringing value to the space, and we have 14 partners. Another show is some of our partners are major ecosystem players like Saucer Swap, the major DEX on Hedera. As of right now, Hashpack, the major wallet. I'm sure you use this element, right, to buy our NFTs, to interact with Zeus. So we're not here to play games, and we're not here to just dry up liquidity, because I feel like most projects kind of fall into that category where it's like, okay, you have a plan, that's great, but like, where's your action items, right? And having that corporate background, we know we hold each other, me and my CTO, to very high standards. If you promise me you're going to deliver this by this date, I expect it by that date. Regardless of what our holders think, this is what we're building. And every line of code, every meeting we have, every dollar spent on marketing is to create value for our holders. So I think that's the main difference. And we have right now, we have $110,000 in liquidity on Social Swap with our Cream tokens. So, we're not here just, shooting the shit. And I don't know if I could curse, but we're not here just, okay, we're not here just, playing games and trying to, I guess, give the, give the facade of value. We're actually trying to bring value, and we're building every line of code. Again, every line of code, every meeting, every talk I have, like with you right now, Solomon, is to create value for the ecosystem. And not just our Creamies ecosystem, but Hedera overall. That's what we're trying to do.
100%. No, that's fantastic, Matt. Thank you. Monkey. You mentioned Saucer Swap and Hashpack. What other partnerships, and maybe this extrapolates out even a little bit beyond partnerships, what other partnerships or collaborations have you guys attained so far?
So another thing I personally noticed was a lot of surface level collaborations don't bring that much value, right? So we wanted to avoid that. And that's kind of the main reason we wanted to make partnerships that have real value. Like, for example, like our partners like Dazzle, I'll name them all, sorry. Here's a little shout out to our partners: Dazzle Ducks on Hedera, Low Universe, Cyber Hedera, Pandemania, Mutant Ape Club, Metavision, Pengu Pals, H Barmery / Pixelland, Crypto Pandas, Cosmic Immigrants, Hashgraph.name, Hashpack, Creeps, Saucer Swap, Gangsters Paradise from Solana, and Dead Pixels Ghost Club. Major one people probably know is Dead Pixels Ghost Club, Hashpack, Hashgraph.name, which is a domain provider. We have our .cream domains. Shout out to all of them. Hashpack, of course, Saucer Swap, of course, they're major players in the ecosystem. So the reason I'm naming these names is because a lot of our partners have these, HTS tokens.
Yep.
And we try to create utility for them. And we also me personally, I try to help them with their tokenomics. Obviously, I can't guide them or drive them the way I want them to, because it's their project, right? If they want to do something with their tokens, they could do something with it, but I try to help them as much as I can. So again, we were the first NFT, and I think we're the only one on Saucer Swap with an APR, right? With an incentivized yield on the liquidity pools. We actually have two at the moment: Sauce and Cream, which I like to call Alfredo, HBAR and Cream, which was our, again, L1 token and Cream. So yeah, our collaborations are not just surface level art collaborations. It's much more, I like to refer to them as partners, and that's how we go about it, right? We bring value to each other, not just shilling, not just whitelist giveaways, but more so, how do we bring value for you guys? How do you bring value for you guys? And it's all value proposition, even between the projects itself. Again, every minute I spend on Web3 is value building and value proposition. I don't think we're all here just to have fun. I like to have fun, if you know me personally. And in our Discord, we just spam gifts. That's like DGen gifts, and I feel like we capture that very well. We're the epitome of DGen on Hedera. I like to say.
100%. You did a great job already explaining how many team members. Maybe instead of how many team members in the backgrounds, because you've already touched base on that, can you talk a little bit about some of the community aspects that you guys have been able to build out thus far? So Discord, Twitter, things like that, and what that looks like. And then I think you alluded to it previously. Maybe talk a little bit about, building out contributors from the community, because I think that's a really interesting aspect of Web3 that we've seen really flourish with these projects where you almost have fans that want to help you moving forward.
Oh, very interesting. First off, I'd like to say shout out to my CTO who runs a team of 4 developers that he knows in person, kind of knows their background and, all that. But I would like to shout out my mods, of course. Any NFT project has to have mods. They do a great job help running our socials as well as our Discord. I guess that fits under socials, but we have a fun aspect, and Web3 allows you to do this, where we have a council of team members and they were voted in. We didn't just handpick them, and our council kind of guides us. Okay, what do we do with the funds of the DAO? And our DAO has over $10,000 on liquidity on SocialSwap, so we're yielding gains, right? This is just one aspect of the council. They kind of help us guide votes for the DAO before they even get to the DAO stage, because there's so many ideas, right? Going in and out of a project. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And it kind of helps filter out good ideas and bad ideas. And our DAO actually, and our council, sorry, we call them the Council of Cream, COC. Shout out to those guys. But yeah, they help us run the project in a way where it's not, and this is one of our main prerogatives, it's not just beneficial to the creator, right? If I ran the project by myself and if I was a greedy SOB, I would have minted and not built anything and done anything the way I wanted to. But we built up this COC, we built up this $10,000 DAO war chest essentially, and we're yielding $400 or $500 US in real value per month from the DAO. So they help us run the DAO, they help us with the direction, general direction, and they help us even with like marketing outreach. For example, they'll be in a project where I'm too busy to get a new project. They'll be degenning in other projects and kind of bridge that with Creamies, right? And a lot of our partnerships actually came from COC recommendations. Like reach out to this project, maybe they could do a part for you and you could do a part for them. And, we kind of bring value to each other that way.
100%. Yeah, I'd like it. I think the audience would like if you would describe any milestones and achievements that you guys have accomplished thus far.
Ooh, thus far. So we have a very structured tokenomics thing where it's not on the whim. Our whole project is kind of hinged on, we're never going to have a future generation. So Solomon, for example, for your master creamer, it's 111. Right, that's it. There's never going to be more. For our creamies, our regular creamies, we call them normies. There's going to be 1,111. There's never going to be more. And to obtain a master creamer, it's a trading mechanism. We put 5 creamies in jail, right? So you turn in 5 creamies and you get a master creamer. And I'm sorry, what was your question? I'm rambling on. I'm a little tipsy right now.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no, I've been there, trust me. Describe any milestones and achievements that you guys have accomplished thus far. And then I guess you could extrapolate on that. And what are you looking forward to in the short, medium, and long term?
Okay, so yes, great question. And I guess that's why I kind of got stumbled there. Sorry. So yeah, Short-term milestones, again, we were the first real liquidity pool on Saucer Swap other than USDC, HBARX, right? Like the major players, we're the first liquidity pool on Saucer Swap, the first DeFi platform on Hedera that I would consider as a DeFi platform, other than the failures we had in the past. And we delivered the first HTS token-based game, and it was in the form of a coin flip and a dice roll. It's very basic games you probably saw on other chains. Yes, this is just the token flow model. We also delivered the first claim, meaning if you have an NFT of ours, you have the ability to claim Cream tokens every 24 hours on our website. Short-term milestones that we delivered recently, I would say creamlands.com is a big one. What we're trying to build out is kind of like a social platform where you could flex your logo, you could flex your PFP, you could even edit your description, you could edit your URL, right? Kind of like the domain, CNS domains services. Yeah, and on creamlands.com, it went live today. You could see that our partners, Quack tokens from Dazzle Ducks, Low tokens from Low Universe, Whale from Cyber Hedera, and many more, Sauce from Saucer Swap, for example. You could play those tokens on our gaming platform.
Yeah.
Our future milestones that I'm very excited for is in Q4, and I say Q4 lightly because we expect some delays, like early November, late October, we're coming out with a land play, right? I'm sure you've seen those on other platforms as well, on other L1s. For example, some famous ones are like Decentraland, Sandbox. But what we're doing is we're going by step, right? We're not promising the metaverse play. That was never the kind of the goal. The goal is you'll have a social platform just like your ENS. It's a written address, whereas on our land play, it's a visual land piece.
Yeah.
And it represents you in the Web3 space, also with Creamy staking and Cream staking. So that's a big one that we're looking forward to. Creamlands. I'm excited. I hope other people are, but it's going well. It's a lot of work because we're trying to coordinate like 14, 15, 16 different projects on this one land project. So if you, I guess for your listeners, if you want to get kind of the introduction to Hedera, I would say this is, again, a shill. This is a very good place to start because you would have exposure, not just the Creamies, not just to our project, but all those partners as well.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned a partnership or collaboration with a project in the Solana ecosystem. Do you guys have plans for cross-chain aspects moving forward?
Oh man, you're asking for too much information, Solomon. So yes, we do have a Solana partner with Gangsters Paradise. They're a metaverse platform. They're building it out now. It looks very good, I will say. A lot of metaverse plays going in and out, not just on Solana, not just on ETH, but on Hedera as well. But yes, we do have future plans. I don't think I've ever exposed this publicly, but we do have future plans for cross-chain. And when we say cross-chain, it's not so much, okay, we're just going to release the same thing on another chain.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do, we're actually working with Hedera devs for this is alpha MetaMask integration for Hedera.
Yep,
right?
that's
So
freaking huge.
yeah, it's huge. And I don't think a lot of people understand how big that is, but people like yourself probably do understand how big that is. So
I mean,
yeah,
this entire space is ease of, I mean, it's really mass adoption comes a lot down to user experience and tools that people are already used to utilizing.
for sure.
It'd be great
For
to
sure.
see Hedera aspects being able to seamlessly integrate with MetaMask because a lot of people, the majority of people in the space use MetaMask. So
I like to shout out Hashpack, the wallet on Hedera right now. They are by far, head and shoulders, the best wallet I've ever used. And I've used a lot. I've been on, many chains. they've got the best wallet. I just don't know what else to say about it. But the fact is, if I tell you, Solomon, make a new wallet, right? Whether it's Phantom, whether it's MetaMask, whether it's Hashpack, it's like, no, that's too much friction, bro. I'm not doing that, right?
Mhm.
That's the fact of it. But if you're using MetaMask, like you said, most of the Web3 traffic goes through MetaMask. So it's like, all right, we could integrate MetaMask with Hedera. Why don't we use that? Not just bridging, like, because we have bridges already. Hashport did a great job on SauceSwap, amazing job. I've used other bridges many times, but not just bridging, but just a wallet interoperability, so to say,
Yep.
is huge because you want less friction. Making a new wallet is a lot of work, man, and it's a lot of friction. And we understand the value proposition of that as well. So it's like you want to make a new wallet. It's like now you're most of your not already in your ecosystem. I don't know, target audience wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. If you told me, oh, there's a great project on Ethereum, it's like, bro, I already, liquidated my Ethereum. I'm not going to do that. I already liquidated my Solana. I'm not going to do that. So I understand, okay, if I could use the same wallet and bridge it in the wallet and, use the same thing, but it's like, okay, I don't have to do the 24 key, seed phrase. I don't have to do the 12-word seed phrase, and I don't have to make a whole new address. It's so much easier, right? Because we went from Ethereum to BSC to AVAX and Phantom. It's like, okay, that's normal. But to create a whole new wallet and learn a whole new wallet and just the whole ecosystem, it's a lot of friction, man.
Yep. No, I agree 100%. For anybody interested in learning more, Monkey, and I know you already mentioned creamlands.com. Any other links or sites that you'd like people to join? And I should say on Genfinity within the project showcase, I think we've already stood up probably a lot of the links. So if you guys are on there, you can check it out. But coming from you, Matt, where would you recommend people go to learn more about the ecosystem that you're building and maybe even the Hedera ecosystem like we've been talking about?
This is actually perfect for Creamlands. Normally, before we launched creamlands.com, I would show creamies.space for our project, but creamlands.com showcases, again, not only us, but all our partners, which includes the #1 wallet, the #1 DeFi, the #1 domain service, right? So creamlands.com, and it'll kind of point you in the right directions.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Matt. This is the cliche question that I always ask, but and certainly not financial advice to anybody, but I've got to ask you, when moon?
When moon, I feel like we are doing well as far as price action and NFA. I always, you always got to be careful, right?
Yeah.
But when moon, who knows? Hopefully it's when we we onboard more users from Ethereum, from AVAX, from BSC, because we're in such a juvenile ecosystem that really one person with tens of thousands of dollars, like 10 ETH, for example, is going to move the whole market. And we've seen it time and time again on Hedera. And I guess that's why we're still here building, right, on such a young ecosystem. And we see the upside. There's great upside in a young ecosystem. In this space, it's early or you're late, right?
Yep.
And that's what we are on Hedera. We're very early. There's a future here. While I see, for example, on OpenSea, traffic 99% down, 90% down for the month, right? We're up, right? Hedera is up, and that's undeniable. The numbers numbers don't lie, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, just
Yeah, I mean,
get here.
I think a lot of people don't realize too that, like, you look at Ethereum 2015 and they've got a 7-year head start on user interface like UX and UI. And you start dealing in other networks that, have different utility value propositions. Building out the same type of UXs and UIs or interoperating with something like MetaMask in a way that people are comfortable with. And then you look at the numbers, it's a really interesting thing to start looking at all of those things in tandem. it starts to paint a little bit of a picture. And I think even what you were saying, like within, when you onboard one user that might have, maybe somewhat of a whale or whatever, just for an example, it's like Metcalfe's law. If one comes over, you can assume that more are going to come with that individual, right? So it'll be very, very interesting to watch. I want to leave it because all these interviews that I've been doing, I kind of would love for you to, either if you have a message for the community, or just kind of something to close us out with. I think this market has been kind of crappy for the past handful of months now. So if you have a message for the community or anything that you want to say in closing us out, that'd be fantastic.
I guess my message is, yeah, we're in a bear market. It's very obvious that we're in a bear market, not just with the NFTs, but overall macro not looking good, but we're winning. And that's because people see the value we're trying to build, and we're here every day and all day. And it's not one of those projects where we're trying to show you on things that just doesn't make sense. We're very logical people. Again, we're very, I don't know if this is a good thing, but we have a lot of corporate experience. So we know what we have to build in it for value proposition, right? Because we dealt with Fortune 500 companies, again, international companies, and it's not like we're here playing games. I quit my career, which I honestly would have made more money since March if I stayed there at my position.
I'm right there with you, man.
Right. So what the jump is. It's not easy, but it's like, all right, I'm degenerating right by your side, fam. I'm not here just, blowing air into your butthole. I'm here. I'm here to bring real value for the long term, because that's what I need to do to feed my family. That's what it is. That's what it is, man. I guess that's it. Yeah.
No, I really appreciate it. It's been a fantastic interview for sure. 10 minutes, 10 questions, 10 answers. I know that we went over all of those things. But if you guys want to check out creamlens.com to learn more, and you guys did get some alpha within this as well, potentially cross-chain aspects, and not just cross-chain, but even bigger, it's building out those onboarding mechanisms through like interoperability surrounding MetaMask and things like that. So I have to say thank you very, very much, Matt, or otherwise known as Monkey, and the Hedera community, and looking forward to talking with you again in the near future.
Thank you, Solomon. Thank you for having me.